So in this last video, we'll go through gustation, which is the sensation of taste. This is the tongue here. There are a bunch of little papillae, which are the little bumps on your tongue, and they're kind of separated into different regions. So the taste bud here, this little bump, is made out of a bunch of these tiny little, what we call taste cells. There are supporting cells within there, but you can see these taste cells are linked to neurons here, sensory neurons. So this is like the outside of your tongue, and there are little pores in here that allow chemicals to go in, and then the taste cells can send that information to the brain here. So in order for things to be tasted, you need to have saliva, so the molecules must be dissolved. There are 5 primary sensations. You guys are probably familiar with these. Umami is like that taste of amino acids, and kind of that like fullness. Lots of other things determine taste. Texture, aroma, you guys are all familiar with what makes your food taste good. People who like really hot foods stimulate actual pain nerve endings. This idea that different tastes are on different parts of the tongue is not necessarily true, as all tastes can be detected throughout the whole tongue surface. So the mechanism, some way that taste works is through a secondary messenger system that we talked about before, and then others, like sodium and acids, actually depolarize the hair cells directly. So there are 3 different cranial nerves that innervate the tongue, and they help with taste and the physical movement of the tongue in order for you to help digest your food. They also function for reflexes and to protect your throat. So smell is pretty similar. The nose here, so this is like the outside of the nose, this is the nostril here, and then inside the nose, at the top here, there's the olfactory bulb, and then the nerve here, there's actually little hair-like cells that stretch out, and they go into your nose here, and they're able to help you smell. Fun facts here for you. Smell is highly sensitive, more so in women, especially pregnant women, and then you're able to distinguish as many as 10,000 odors, which is crazy. So this is an olfactory cell. You can see them here. And then this is your ethmoid bone. This is the cribriform plate, and this is the olfactory bulb up here. So these little cells down here have little hairs that bind to odors, and then that will signal into the olfactory bulb, and that will go to the brain. The cells only last about 60 days, which is crazy. So, in order to smell, the molecules must be volatile. And the molecules will come, they'll bind onto the receptor of the olfactory hair, and that will cause a second messenger reaction. Eventually the ion channels open, and that causes a potential. In the nose, the receptors, they adapt really quickly because of inhibition in the olfactory bulbs. So, for example, if you're sitting next to someone that smells really strongly, you only notice for a few minutes, and then because of that adaptation, you're no longer smelling them constantly. The olfactory tract leads into the temporal lobe, into parts of the amygdala, and then into the hypothalamus. If you remember, the amygdala is really important with like your emotional response, so smells are linked with our memories and You can often smell something and have a pretty strong emotional reaction. And then the cerebral cortex can send feedback. So when you're hungry, for example, walking by a bakery might smell extra good, and that's because of this integration here with the cerebral cortex. Okay, so you can see that here. And this is the olfactory bulb. Parts of it go to the hypothalamus. Parts of it go down into the reticular formation to the brainstem, and then other pathways go to the temporal lobe and the hippocampus and the amygdala here. And that is it for today.